While I was watching a YouTube reviewer entirely miss the point of a song, he broke into a story about his young child and how simple the child's life was. No worries, no problems, no troubles. And this really kind of ridiculous fallacy isn't nearly as uncommon as it should be. And I remembered back in my teaching days, I had a lot of college freshmen telling me how hard their lives were and how much they missed childhood. Not all that surprising, I suppose. Hey, early each semester, I would do word association lists. And when we did childhood, they were almost always overwhelmingly positive, unless somebody had had a really nasty childhood. And the adulthood list was almost always primarily negative, and just about everybody, it seems, had the word fear on that part of their list. And then we got to the toys and games list, and it was always the shortest list of all, frequently just 2 or 3 words that they could come up with in 2 minutes. And that surprised me until I finally sat down and thought about it. 20 years later, I figured it out. That part actually kind of makes sense too. And it's all, as often happens, kind of tied together. We keep people focused on what's next. And at least by the time they're into school, and probably before that, always looking, is this book you're reading is for the test that's coming up. The test is so you can pass the class. Passing the class is so you can go to the next grade. The next grade is so you can go to the next level of school, and eventually it's so you can get a job, and then you're working for a promotion, and you are not given a chance, much less encouragement, to stop and think. To think about where you were, where you are, and where you need to go. Not where somebody else tells you you need to go, good or bad, but to actually think about your real needs. That old "who am I" question. And so we have a tendency to over-sentimentalize the past, nostalgia, the golden age, and at the same time forget a lot of the history of our own past. But the reality is childhood is no easier than adulthood. We live in a land of giants when we're kids. For years in our childhood, most of the people around us can pick us up and throw us into the air anytime they choose. Now, if we trust them, we may enjoy it. But it's still, you are not in control of very much. You can't get a drink of water by yourself for many years. It's a real struggle to go snitch a cookie. There's the bully down the street, and either the monster under the bed, in the closet, or both. Childhood has dragons. And these dragons are as big as we can handle. Sometimes they seem bigger. But dragons, yeah. Adulthood, we recognize the dragons wherever we are, and we tend to forget about the dragons wherever we were. But you look at your dragons in adulthood, and I have a feeling that they are pretty much the same dragons from childhood. They're just dressed up a bit differently. They may look bigger, may feel bigger, but that doesn't mean they are bigger. And whatever dragons you have in adulthood, even if they may happen to be bigger and more numerous than your childhood, doesn't mean you didn't have dragons. And we need to respect and remember our own childhood a little more accurately if we're ever going to respect and understand our children's childhood. And that's whether it's your children or somebody else's children, just understanding, period. And then we can get into the complexities of dragons, which I will mostly save for some potential future video. But not all dragons are alike because, well, to begin with, European dragons are typically all about greed, and Chinese dragons can be good luck and mischievous. So it's not just recognizing you have dragons, but figuring out what kind of dragons they are and what they're doing. Anyway, I suggest you take a little bit of time to not worry so much about where other people want you to go next. Take a little time to think, maybe do some writing, helps you think, if you have the nerve. And, well, we talk about getting in touch with your inner child. And that also means getting in touch with your inner dragons. So, be ready for maybe a little tussle. But remember, the old saying on maps, here there be dragons. Good luck. I'll be talking to you later. And I hope you enjoyed the video enough to click share, thumbs up, I'll subscribe, and make some comments. So long.